Thank you for joining me here at the First Alert Desk on Atlanta News First Plus. This is Catch Up Quick, so let's get you caught up on the stories making headlines in and around Metro Atlanta. And I want to start with some breaking news that we were reporting to you this morning out of Stonecrest. This is video, as you can see, of SWAT and several law enforcement agents at a condo complex on Farrington Ridge Circle in DeKalb County. Atlanta News First Don Shipman is with the First Alert breaking news tracker, where dozens of officers and SWAT units swarmed a home inside of the Farrington Ridge condo complex.
What a tense and scary situation for the people living in this community, waking up to police and SWAT units surrounding their homes. Take a look at this right here. We were here as those SWAT team units arrived and rushed to surround building number 5 inside the Farrington Ridge condo complex along Farrington Ridge Circle. When we first arrived on the scene, we spotted more than a dozen DeKalb police cruisers. That was just after 5 o'clock this morning. Then a short time later, SWAT teams arrived, and then more SWAT vehicles, including a big armored truck. Neighbors, none of whom wanted to go on camera, told me that they've been watching as police have been surveilling that same building, building number 5, for a few days now. Police actually widened the taped off perimeter at one point this morning, moving neighbors away from the building that they were focusing their attention on. And then about 10 minutes later, we watched as 2 people were taken into custody, then police began dispersing. The situation seemingly resolved. Now, we did hear back from DeKalb police. They say that the condo that they went into is now empty and no one was injured. They say the people in this community are safe, no threat to the area. We're here in Stonecrest. Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
And keeping things in DeKalb, I want to take you out to Clarkston, where police are squeezing 3 people for information after finding a man shot to death in a brush fire. Atlanta News First reporter Yasmina Alston is outside of Clarkston Police Headquarters with the latest.
A gruesome discovery near 2 apartment complexes in Clarkston. A man's burned body found with a gunshot wound, but no identification.
No motive at this time. The detectives are still investigating, and they're following up on leads that are coming in daily.
Clarkston Police Sergeant Andrew Walker says investigators are trying to identify the man believed to be between the ages of 17 and 25. His body was discovered when DeKalb County fire crews responded to a brush fire between the Ellis and Silver Oaks apartments on Brockett Road.
We believe that the fire and the deceased adult male are connected.
Detectives are hoping several clothing items on this young man will help in identifying him.
We urge the public, if they're missing a brother, a son, a friend, a coworker that fits this description, he was about 5 foot tall, between 95 and 100 pounds, to please contact the Clarkston Police Department or their local police department and report this person missing so we can follow up on that information.
Take a look at these photos. Police say the victim had on Jordan 9 retro olive sneakers, a dog tag chain with a Bible verse inscribed on it, black and gold rectangular sunglasses, and a clear beaded bracelet. He had a chipped front tooth, pierced ears with diamond studs, and a pierced nose. Sergeant Walker says they want to find out who this young man is and quickly to continue the investigation into why this happened.
The wood line it's not a very large wood line between 2 major apartment complexes on Brockett Road, and the fire could have gotten out of hand, but fortunately we responded quickly and the DeKalb County Fire Department was able to extinguish the fire.
Yasmina Alston, Atlanta News First.
And I want to direct your attention to this story that we put out in front of you on air and now online. Atlanta police offering up to $2,000 if you have any information that could help them solve this case. Investigators say an armed robbery happened at this Citgo gas station on Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway. The victim was pumping gas when a man approached him, held up a gun, and demanded the victim's belongings. Now the victim says the suspect punched him in the face and took his wallet. If you know who this man is, you are urged to call police. Again, that video posted online on AtlantaNewsFirst.com and in the free Atlanta News First app. And businesses feeling the economic pinch. More close signs like these are popping up across West Midtown. It's becoming quite a common sight. Nearly a dozen restaurants have closed in the area just in the past few weeks alone. Atlanta News First Sarah Hammond reports on why this is happening.
This building right behind me used to be the breakfast restaurant Snooze, and they permanently closed just under a week ago. The sign that used to be on the front of the building here is already gone. On their website, they simply say it's not goodbye, it's just see you later. And they are not alone in these closures. Take a look at your screen here. These restaurants are also no longer open along Howell Mill Road. West Egg Cafe closed their doors at the end of last year, writing on their website that sales are down and costs are up. They noted a decline in in-person dining as more people work virtually, saying restaurants serving weekday breakfast and lunch are being hit the hardest. And Humble Pie's West Midtown location announced their closure at the end of January, thanking their staff in a social media post titled "Our Humble Goodbye." In an additional comment, they say it's been hard getting business through the doors. And the owners of nearby Ormsby say it's hard watching these nearby businesses close their doors.
And all of a sudden, the dominoes just tumble.
It hurts when we see another fellow restaurant owner lose their dream, because we know what that feels like to have that dream.
Among all of these signs, letters, and posts on social media, these restaurants are thanking their patrons, who they say have supported them for as long as they have been in these locations. In West Midtown, Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.
And we got to talk about the story that I know all of you are starting to dig into, and that is Super Bowl Sunday. Right now, thousands of fans are getting ready to fill the streets of New Orleans for Super Bowl 59. Officials say final preparations are underway, and the weather looks quite promising. Atlanta News First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazi joining me now to talk about the forecast ahead.
Yeah, and we do have some changes on the way to the forecast as we head into next week. But yes, if you are getting ready for your Super Bowl Sunday plans, just know that the weather here at home looks pretty good. In fact, very warm, which is something that we have been really lucky to have warm weather for the last couple of days here, and we have more warm weather on the way. But changes do return next week. I want to give you a quick heads up. Start with this, a first alert weather day on the horizon for next Tuesday and Wednesday. That's when we really see our forecast pattern take a shift to the wetter and the colder. So widespread rain, maybe even some thunderstorm activity next week, and our temperatures do start to drop. It doesn't look like we'll have a drastic drop in temperatures, but we will cool back towards average in the 50s and 60s next week. I want to show you the high temperatures across the lower 48 today, because you can clearly see that dividing line from the jet stream. The jet stream is a very quick moving tunnel of air in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere that kind of helps spill in cooler temperatures. And if you are south of that jet stream, you have warmer temperatures, but the jet stream is that dividing line between cooler and warmer air. And you can see that we're talking teens to 20s to 30s in the northern tier, and then down across the south from Texas, across the Gulf Coast into Florida, we're looking at 70s and 80s for high temperatures today. We are grateful that that jet stream is staying north, aren't we? It has been very, very refreshing to have some warm weather after a very cold January. High temperatures today climbing into the mid 70s, but in the meantime, as we wait for the 70s, we'll stay in the 60s through about your lunch hour. We'll top out in the mid 70s at around 6 o'clock tonight as you're heading home from work, maybe going to grab a bite to eat tonight. Temperature near 70, dropping into the 60s at 9. All of us topping out in the 70s today. Some spots even getting closer to 80 degrees in East Georgia, from Athens down to Eatonton, close to 80 degrees, 75 in Atlanta. A lot of our suburbs will top out in the low to mid 70s today. It will be mostly cloudy and mostly dry. Can't rule out a couple of spotty showers. We'll talk about that rain chance in a little more detail in just a second. Overnight tonight, we're going to wake up very mild again. 50s north of the city, but most of the area in the low 60s. If we do bottom out at 63 degrees, that will break the record for the warmest overnight low for that day tomorrow. The record low, 62 degrees, set back in 2019. And of course, that's not the coldest low. That is the warmest overnight low temperature for February 7th tomorrow. Our normal low, 37 degrees. So a lot warmer than where we should be waking up tomorrow morning. In fact, tomorrow's high temperature is warmer than our average, tomorrow's low temperature, our overnight low temperature, is warmer than where our afternoon high temperature should be. So this is definitely abnormal for this time of year. That was a little backwards, wasn't it? That was difficult to think about when I was trying to give all those numbers for you. But regardless, it's going to be a mild start to tomorrow. Let's talk about the rain chance in a little more detail here. No first alert weather days for the rain today or tomorrow or even into the weekend. The more widespread rain is on the way for next Tuesday. So let's take you into this afternoon. Just spotty showers, mostly cloudy skies expected today. I do think we'll see some peaks of sunshine, very similar to yesterday. And then around 7 o'clock, we will start to see a few more scattered showers roll in north of the city. And that's that's all ahead of a cold front. We have this weather system that's just kind of hanging out across the southeast, and it's wobbling back and forth between going north of us and scooting into the state of Georgia. So as that front starts to sink back south into the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning, some scattered showers will develop, especially north of the city. So if you're an early commuter tomorrow and you live north of Atlanta, a few scattered showers will be possible, light to steady rain. And then tomorrow afternoon, as that front stalls across the state, that'll just keep us unsettled. What that front's going to do is lock in moisture, and as we heat up through the day, kind of like summertime, we'll have some showers develop along that front because we will have ample moisture. It's going to feel kind of muggy the next couple of days. This weekend, we will have a mostly dry Saturday. So Saturday will actually be the nicest day of the weekend. We'll have highs closer to 80 degrees. And then Sunday, we'll go into the low 70s with just a few showers possible. Another front, very progressive pattern we're in, guys. Another front will try to approach on Sunday, and that'll offer us a few showers. And that actually will start to move in Monday and give us that cooler stretch of weather starting Monday and then beyond. Here's a look at that first alert weather day Tuesday. Widespread rain will be likely, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, some heavy rain also possible. Does look like most of this rain on Tuesday will enter in on the second half of the day and continue into Wednesday. We'll have that front stall across the southeast that keeps us really unsettled Wednesday. But then watch this, another weather system quickly follows behind it on Thursday. So next week overall looks colder and much wetter. We're expecting to pick up a lot of rain next week, while between about today and Sunday, we're looking at maybe like 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of rain. We're looking at the potential for 2+ inches of rain in Atlanta next week, mainly between Tuesday and Friday, with potentially over 4 inches of rain, upwards of 5 to 6 inches of rain in parts of the mountains next week. So we will be watching for flash flooding next week because, again, we're just going to get a lot of rounds of rain within a short period of time. That will keep our temperatures cooler, and that naturally will lead to that potential for maybe some isolated flash flooding, something we'll be keeping a really close eye on for you. In the meantime, here's a look at your first alert 7-day forecast. Mid-70s today. We'll stay in the 70s all the way through the weekend. Mostly dry. Can't rule out a couple of stray showers here and there, but for the most part, it'll be a nice stretch of weather. Mostly cloudy skies, mostly dry, but a few showers possible here and there. Unsettled is basically the theme for the next several days. Going into next week, we'll be in the low 60s, and then upper 50s to low 60s return to the forecast with that widely scattered rain chance both Tuesday and Wednesday. Rain does look likely both of those days starting Tuesday night, going into Wednesday, and it does look like it stays quite wet even into the end of next week. All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining us for your news and your weather here on Atlanta News First Plus. Be sure to tune in throughout the day. Have that First Alert weather app handy. We'll keep you posted on the forecast right there as well. Make it a wonderful Thursday, and we'll catch you here next time.